Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing and mysterious stories in the world of coin collecting. It's about a coin that by all official records shouldn't even exist. A penny so rare that it has been valued at a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. That's right, we're talking about the legendary 1965 Lincoln Wheat penny. A coin that has stunned collectors, sparked debates, and remains one of the most sought-after pieces in numismatic history. Now you might be thinking, how is it even possible that a penny from 1965 could be worth nearly $2 million? After all, most pennies from that era are still floating around in change jars, coin rolls, and old drawers. But this one is different. It's unique, mysterious, and surrounded by questions that make it more than just a coin. It's a piece of American history. To understand the full story, we need to rewind a bit and talk about the Lincoln penny itself. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln cent was the first American coin to feature a real historical figure. The original design, created by Victor David Brenner, featured Lincoln's profile on the front and two stalks of wheat curving along the back, what we now call the wheat reverse. The wheat design remained in use until 1958. In 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new reverse, the Lincoln Memorial. From that year forward, all Lincoln cents featured the memorial on the back instead of wheat stalks. That means officially, after 1958, the wheat penny was discontinued to SO. When someone mentions a 1965 Lincoln wheat penny, that's already a red flag. It shouldn't exist. All pennies minted in 1965 should have the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. That's where the mystery begins. Because somehow, somewhere, a 1965 penny was struck using the old wheat reverse design. And that makes it one of the most valuable minting errors ever recorded. According to collectors and grading experts, only a tiny handful of these 1965 wheat pennies are known to exist. Some experts believe they were struck by accident when an old wheat reverse die was mistakenly used during production. Others speculate it may have been an intentional mint error created during a transition period when coin designs were being updated. Either way, its existence is extremely rare and surrounded by speculation. Now here's where things get even more interesting. One of these coins, preserved in extraordinary condition, has been appraised and insured at an astounding $1.9 million. That's right. A coin that cost 1 cent to make is now worth more than a luxury home, more than most supercars, and more than many people will earn in a lifetime. It's not just a penny. It's a hidden treasure. The coin in question was graded by a top-tier grading service and given a Mint State 67 red designation. That means it's in nearly flawless condition with full original red luster, sharp details, and no signs of circulation. In the world of numismatics, condition is everything. A rare coin in poor shape might fetch a few $100s, but a rare coin in pristine condition? That's where you enter million-dollar territory. Collectors love stories like this because they represent the perfect storm: rarity, mystery, history, and immaculate preservation. It's the kind of coin that makes you look twice at every penny you come across. And with a value like that, who wouldn't want to take a second look? So let's talk about what you should be looking for if you ever hope to find one of these 1965 wheat pennies. First, check the date. It must clearly read 1965 on the obverse. Then flip the coin and look at the reverse. If you see the Lincoln Memorial, it's a regular coin. But if you see two stalks of wheat with the words 1 cent in the center, you may be holding a once-in-a-lifetime mint error. But here's the thing. Just finding a coin like this is not enough. You must get it authenticated. There are counterfeit coins, altered dates, and fake reverse dies out there. And only a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm whether you've got the real deal. These experts use specialized tools, magnification, and years of experience to verify a coin's authenticity and assign it a market value. Now you might be wondering, why haven't more people heard about this coin? Why isn't it front-page news? The truth is, the world of rare coins is surprisingly private. Many high-end collectors operate quietly, making deals behind closed doors and often keeping their collections off the public radar. But every now and then, a coin like this makes headlines, especially when it goes up for auction or gets appraised at an unbelievable value. The 1965 Lincoln Wheat penny is one of those coins. It's not just rare. It's a mystery, a minting anomaly that challenges the official records and captures the imagination of anyone who hears about it. And even if you never find one yourself, stories like this make collecting exciting. They remind us that incredible treasures can be hiding in plain sight, even in the most ordinary places. What should you do now? First, start checking your pennies. Look closely at every coin you come across, especially those from the 1960s. Look for unusual reverses, doubling, or any odd details. Next, educate yourself. Learn the difference between regular coins, error coins, and varieties. And finally, if you ever find something unusual, don't assume it's worthless. Get it evaluated by a professional. You never know. You might be holding $1 million coin and not even realize it. The story of the 1965 Lincoln wheat penny is proof that history is full of surprises. It's a reminder that even the smallest things, like a copper coin, can carry incredible value when they're rare, mysterious, and perfectly preserved. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who's curious about what might be hiding in your change jar, this is the kind of story that keeps the hunt alive. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more incredible stories from the world of rare coins. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever come across a rare penny or a coin with an unusual story. And as always, keep searching, stay curious, and happy coin hunting. If you'd like, I can also help you craft a catchy video title, description, hashtags, or even script a teaser for a YouTube short. Just let me know. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Rarest coins that if you've ever wondered whether that old penny in your drawer is worth more than just 1 cent, you're going to want to pay close attention to today's video. We're diving deep into the story of the 1972 Lincoln penny, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but has a rare version that has reportedly sold for as much as $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.5 million for a penny. But before we jump into the details of that record-breaking coin, let's take a step back and talk about the history of the Lincoln penny itself. It all started in 1909, when the United States Mint released the very first Lincoln cent to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was a big deal at the time because it marked the first time an actual historical figure appeared on regular U.S. currency. The designer, Victor David Brenner, included his initials, VDB, on the reverse of some early versions, and that in itself created a bit of controversy, which we'll save for another video. Now fast forward to 1972. By this time, the wheat stalk design on the back had already been replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. However, collectors still refer to the coin as a Lincoln penny, and it remained one of the most produced coins in U.S. history. The 1972 penny was struck in large numbers. Over 5 billion were minted that year. Most were made in Philadelphia and Denver, and they are mostly composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, making them heavier than today's pennies. With so many minted, you're probably asking yourself, why would any of them be valuable? The answer lies in a very specific type of error. In the world of coin collecting, error coins can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on the rarity, the condition, and the demand among collectors. The 1972 Lincoln penny is famous for one major error, the double die obverse. This means that during the minting process, the die that struck the coin was misaligned or impressed more than once at a slightly different angle, creating a doubling effect on the design. On the 1972 double die penny, you can clearly see doubling on the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1972. This is not minor doubling. It is dramatic and obvious even to the naked eye. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most examples of the 1972 double die are worth a few $100s, especially in circulated condition. In mint condition, they can easily fetch between $1,000 and $5,000. But the rarest examples, those that are in near-perfect, uncirculated, mint state condition, have commanded jaw-dropping prices at auction. One particular 1972 double die Lincoln penny in pristine condition was certified as MS67 red by a top grading service. That simply means it was a mint state coin with full original red luster and absolutely minimal flaws under magnification. A coin like that is basically as close to perfect as you can get from a government mint. When that coin hit the auction block, it made history. The final sale price? $1.5 million. Yes, a penny sold for over $1 million. And the reason it reached that level of value was a combination of factors: extreme rarity, high demand, flawless condition, and of course, that dramatic double die error that makes it stand out immediately. So how can you tell if you have one of these ultra-rare coins? First, check the date. It needs to be a 1972 penny with no mint mark, meaning it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Next, look closely at the lettering on the front of the coin. If you see a clear and noticeable doubling on the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the numbers in the date, you might have something special. That it's important not to confuse this error with machine doubling, which is much more common and not valuable. True double die coins show bold, strong, and distinct doubling, while machine doubling usually looks flat or shelf-like and lacks separation. Once you suspect you have a 1972 double die, your next step is to weigh the coin. It should weigh around 3.11 grams if it's made of copper. Then, examine the coin's condition. The less wear, the better. If you think your coin could be uncirculated or in extremely high grade, you should consider getting it certified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will officially authenticate the coin and assign it a grade, which plays a huge role in determining its value. Even if your coin isn't the million-dollar variety, that doesn't mean it's worthless. Many 1972 double die pennies are still worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on condition. And even regular 1972 pennies in perfect mint state condition can bring in a small premium to collectors. And here's a fun fact. There are actually multiple varieties of the 1972 double die penny. Variety 1 is the most valuable and shows the strongest doubling. But other minor double die varieties exist too, and they can still be worth good money. So what's the takeaway from all of this? That penny you barely notice in your pocket change could be hiding a secret. It might be one of the rarest coins ever made. It might be worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $1 million. But you'll never know unless you take a closer look. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money. It's about history, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. The 1972 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how something as small and overlooked as a 1-cent coin can turn into a life-changing treasure. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of rare coins. Let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a 1972 penny with a strange-looking date or doubled lettering. Who knows? You just might be sitting on a fortune. Until next time, keep checking your change, stay curious, and happy hunting. Would you like a version of this script tailored for Shorts, TikTok, or a podcast intro? Or help turning this into a video voiceover? Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because today, we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic world, the 1985 Lincoln penny. You may have some of these pennies lying around in your change jar or tucked away in a drawer, but what if I told you that one of them could be worth as much as $1.4 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stick around, because we're about to uncover the fascinating history of this coin, what makes it valuable, and how you can check if you have the rare one. Let's start with a bit of background on the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and it replaced the Indian head cent. For decades, the Lincoln penny has been a staple in American currency, and over the years, there have been several variations and mint marks that have made certain coins extremely collectible. Now let's fast forward to the year 1985. The Denver Mint produced over 5 billion Lincoln cents that year. Yes, that's billion with a B. The 1985 D penny features the familiar profile of President Lincoln on the obverse, or front, with the word Liberty to the left and the date 1985 to the right, along with the small D mint mark below the year, indicating that it was minted in Denver. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, which was used from 1959 to 2008. With so many 1985 D pennies in circulation, you might be wondering, how could one possibly be worth over $1 million? The answer lies in the world of mint errors, rare variations, and pristine condition. In the coin collecting world, It's not just the age or the metal content that determines value. Rarity, condition, and minting mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure. What's the story behind this alleged $1.4 million 1985 D penny? While most 1985 D pennies are worth only face value, or perhaps a few cents more if they're in uncirculated condition, there are rumors and reports in the collector community of an ultra-rare variant that has fetched a jaw-dropping sum. This particular coin is said to be a misstrike or off-metal error, possibly struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc one. To understand why that matters, let's go back a bit. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using mostly copper coins to cheaper zinc-based planchets with just a thin layer of copper on the outside. This change saved the Mint millions of dollars. However, it also created opportunities for mistakes during the switch. In very rare cases, a leftover bronze blank or planchet from the early 1980s may have been used by accident, resulting in a coin that looks identical to a normal penny, but with a completely different composition. And because these errors are so rare and nearly impossible to spot without proper testing, they can become incredibly valuable. The $1 million 1985 D penny is rumored to be one such example. Verified by certain experts and collectors, it reportedly weighs 3.1 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams of the newer zinc coins. This slight difference in weight is one of the first clues that the coin is something special. Combine that with mint state condition and you have a coin that's worth far more than 1 cent. Another factor that contributes to this coin's value is grading. In the numismatic world, coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS 70 meaning a flawless, mint state coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If a 1985 D penny in mint state condition, especially with an off-metal error, receives a high grade from a professional service like PCGS or NGC, its value can skyrocket. And that's exactly what collectors believe happened in the case of the $1.4 million example. Now let's talk about what you should look for. First, check the mint mark. It should be a D under the year 1985. Next, weigh the coin. You'll need a precise digital scale, preferably one that measures to 2 decimal places in grams. A standard 1985 D penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If your coin weighs closer to 3.1 grams, you might be holding something special. Finally, look at the overall condition. If it's clean, sharp, and shows no signs of wear, it might be worth getting it professionally graded. Keep in mind, finding a 1985 D penny worth over $1 million is extremely rare. We're talking about one known example, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your coins. Even without the rare off-metal error, 1985 D pennies in perfect condition can still be worth a few dollars, or even hundreds in top-graded cases. Error coins with double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual features are always of interest to collectors. At the end of the day, the 1985 D Lincoln penny reminds us that hidden treasures could be sitting right in your pocket. While the chance of finding the $1 million version is incredibly slim, the possibility is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's a hobby filled with history, mystery, and sometimes unexpected wealth. Next time you get change back from the store or dig through an old jar of coins, take a closer look. That ordinary penny might just be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating coin stories, collecting tips, and hidden gem discoveries. And hey, let us know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have a 1985 D penny? We'd love to hear about it. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and happy hunting. Would you like a shorter version or a version written in a more casual tone for a different kind of audience? Welcome back to the channel, where we explore rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating world of numismatics. Today, we're unlocking the secrets of a coin you've probably handled dozens of times without thinking twice. The 1979 D Lincoln penny. That's right, the everyday penny from Denver minted in 1979. But what if I told you that one version of this common-looking coin has reportedly sold for as much as $1.3 million? Sounds impossible. Not so fast. There's a lot more to this copper-colored coin than meets the eye. In today's video, we're going deep into the history of the 1979 D Lincoln penny, its design, the key features that set it apart, and what exactly makes one of these coins so incredibly valuable. Make sure you stay tuned to the end, because we'll also go over what to look for and how to tell if you might be holding a fortune in your pocket. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny broke new ground by being the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Originally, the reverse design featured two wheat stalks, giving rise to the name wheat penny. That design was used until 1958, when the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. So technically, by 1979, the wheat penny was no longer in circulation, but many collectors still refer to Lincoln Memorial cents as part of the broader Lincoln penny family. Now, back to the year 1979. That year, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. The Denver Mint alone struck over 4 billion coins with the D Mint mark. The coins were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which makes them heavier than today's modern pennies. Each weighed about 3.11 grams. Oh, why would any 1979 D penny be worth more than a cent, let alone $1.3 million? The answer lies in a rare combination of factors that occur very rarely in the minting world: error, rarity, and condition. Most 1979 D pennies are only worth face value, but a few have what collectors call exceptional qualities that make them worth thousands, even millions, under the right circumstances. One of the most famous error types that can drastically increase a coin's value is the off-metal strike, also known as a wrong planchet error. That means the coin was accidentally struck on a blank intended for a different denomination. Imagine a penny design stamped onto a dime planchet or even a foreign coin blank. These types of errors are extremely rare and always catch the attention of serious collectors. In the case of the 1979 D penny, there have been verified reports of rare error coins struck on the wrong planchet, including aluminum or experimental blanks, as well as transitional errors. Combine that with a high-grade uncirculated condition, and suddenly you have a one-of-a-kind coin. One such example, believed to have been struck on an experimental planchet and preserved in pristine mint state condition, was reportedly auctioned for a staggering $1.3 million. Let's break that down. First, the coin was authenticated and graded by a leading coin certification company such as PCGS or NGC. The grade was extremely high, likely MS67 or above, which is almost flawless under magnification. Second, the error was verified as authentic, making it both unique and historically significant. Third, collector demand for ultra-rare coins, especially U.S. coins with error origins, has been increasing in recent years, pushing auction prices to all-time highs. Oh, how do you know if you have one of these rare 1979 D pennies? Here's what you should look for. First, check the date. It must be a 1979 penny with the D Mint mark, which means it came from the Denver Mint. Next, weigh the coin. A standard 1979 D penny should weigh approximately 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less or more, you may have an off-metal error. For example, a dime planchet weighs only 2.27 grams. If your penny is that light, it could be a wrong planchet error. Then, examine the coin's edges. Penny planchets should have a smooth edge. If your 1979 D penny has a reeded or grooved edge, that's another red flag that the coin might have been struck on the wrong blank. Now look at the overall condition. Is it shiny and free from scratches or wear? If so, it could be in mint state, which greatly increases its value. Mint state coins are graded on a scale from 60 to 70. A coin with a grade of MS65 or higher is considered very valuable, and anything MS67 or above is exceptionally rare. If your coin checks off some of these boxes, it's worth getting it professionally evaluated. Coin grading and authentication companies like PCGS or NGC can examine your coin under microscopes and confirm whether it's a valuable error or just a standard issue. Now, let's be realistic. Most 1979 D pennies are still only worth 1 cent. Even uncirculated examples may only fetch a few dollars unless they have an error or are in extraordinary condition. But coin collecting is about more than just money. It's about the excitement of discovery, the beauty of history, and the potential to find a hidden gem where you least expect it. Just think. A simple penny, something most people ignore or toss in a jar, could be a 6 or 7-figure treasure waiting to be found. That's what makes this hobby so fascinating. So next time you're going through your change or opening an old drawer, take a second to look a little closer. That ordinary 1979 D penny might be something special. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next rare coin spotlight. And let us know in the comments, have you ever come across a rare coin? Do you have a 1979 D penny that looks a little unusual? We'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and always check your change. Let me know if you'd like this adapted for a short video, podcast episode, or turned into a voiceover script with pacing cues. Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of the most incredible and surprising stories in American coin collecting history. It's the story of a simple 1-cent coin that somehow found its way into the spotlight and into the hearts of collectors all over the world. We're talking about the 1960 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that, in one astonishing case, has been valued at an unbelievable $1.7 million. Yes, a single penny with a face value of 1 cent reportedly fetching over $1 million. Now that might sound impossible. How could a penny from 1960 be worth that much money? What makes it special? And how can you tell if you've got one of these incredibly rare coins in your collection or even sitting unnoticed in your pocket change? Let's unravel the mystery and explore the history, the variations, and the reasons why the 1960 D. Lincoln penny could be the key to a hidden fortune. To start, let's go back to the origins of the Lincoln penny itself. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln cent was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original Lincoln cent featured Lincoln's bust on the obverse, or front, and 2 wheat stalks curving along the reverse side. That reverse design gave the coin its popular nickname, the Wheat Penny. The wheat design was used from 1909 until 1958. Then in 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat reverse with a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, which remained on the coin until 2008. This is important because if someone says they have a 1960 D wheat penny, there's already something unusual about it. By 1960, the wheat reverse was no longer in production. So a wheat design on a 1960 coin could be a mint error, a transitional piece, or potentially even a counterfeit. More on that later. But even among the regular 1960 Lincoln Memorial cents, there's a very special story hidden in the details. In 1960, the U.S. Mint released 2 different date varieties of the Lincoln penny. One is known as the large date, and the other as the small date. The differences are subtle, mostly in the size and shape of the numerals in the year. But in the world of coin collecting, those small differences can lead to big value. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark below the date, produced both small and large date versions of the 1960 Lincoln cent. While most of these coins are common, the 1960 D small date variety in particular became a standout. It was minted in smaller numbers, and collectors quickly realized that finding one in perfect condition was extremely rare. Over the years, examples of the 1960 D small date penny in pristine, mint state red condition have become highly sought-after treasures. Now here's where the story really takes off. One exceptionally preserved 1960 D small date penny, graded as MS 67 red by a top grading agency, shocked the coin collecting world when it was appraised at an extraordinary $1.7 million. This valuation was based on its rarity, its flawless condition, and its historical significance. The coin had full original luster, no visible flaws, and a bright red appearance, which indicates that it had never been in circulation and had been perfectly preserved for over 60 years. In numismatics, the term MS stands for mint state, and the number following it ranges from 60 to 70, with 70 being absolute perfection. A 1960 D small date penny graded MS 67 red is almost unheard of. In fact, fewer than a handful of these coins have ever received such a high grade. It's not just rare, it's nearly one of a kind. And that kind of uniqueness can command a price that most people would never associate with a humble copper penny. So how do you know if you have a 1960 D small date penny? First, look at the date on the front of the coin. On the small date variety, the numeral 9 sits higher than the 1. The 6 is thinner, and the overall appearance of the date is more compact. In contrast, the large date variety features a thicker 6, and the numbers are spaced farther apart. It can be tricky to tell the difference unless you have both varieties side by side, but it's absolutely worth checking. Next, look for the mint mark. A small d under the date means the coin was minted in Denver. Then, inspect the color and condition. If the coin still has a bright red shine and appears untouched, you could be looking at something valuable. The highest valued coins are those with the original red luster, no wear, no scratches, and no discoloration. Of course, identifying a potentially rare and valuable coin is just the first step. To truly know what your coin is worth, you'll need to have it authenticated and graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services examine the coin under magnification, confirm its authenticity, determine its variety, and assign a grade. That grade is what determines its market value. Now let's address a common myth. Some people claim that every 1960 D penny is worth thousands or even millions. That's not true. Most 1960 D pennies are still worth just 1 cent. Even many of the small date varieties are worth only a few dollars in average condition. What sets the million-dollar coins apart is their exceptional state of preservation, their extreme rarity, and sometimes even their historical backstory or provenance. It's also worth noting that errors can add value. If a coin was misstruck, double-struck, or has other unusual features caused by minting mistakes, that can increase its value significantly. However, these errors must be genuine and confirmed by experts. There are many fakes and altered coins floating around, so don't trust just any claim you hear online. At the end of the day, the story of the 1960 D Lincoln penny is a powerful reminder that the smallest things can hold the greatest value. What looks like ordinary pocket change could actually be a piece of American history worth more than a luxury car or even a home. And even if you never find the million-dollar penny yourself, there's something magical about knowing that it could be out there, hidden in a drawer, a jar, or an old collection just waiting to be discovered. So the next time you get change from a store, take a closer look. You never know what you might find. And who knows, you could be holding a fortune in your hand without even realizing it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, informative, or just fun, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories from the world of rare coins. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found anything valuable in your change. We love hearing from you. Until next time, happy coin hunting. If you'd like, I can also write a description, suggested title, tags, or even a short version of the script for TikTok or YouTube Shorts.